A warm welcome to Disky Talk with Liolo. If you're tuning in for the very first time, I do ask that you please subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you've been a part of this journey, I hope you thoroughly enjoy this episode. So, on today's episode, I discuss all things MTN 8 quarterfinals as I have a look at the four fixtures. So, when you have a look at it then, coming up into this weekend, the MTN 8 does get underway and we do start then with the quarterfinals. So we will have a look then at the first quarterfinal, which is Mamelodi Sundowns versus Swallows. So when you have a look at it then, the blue team will represent Mamelodi Sundowns and the red team will represent Swallows. So when you have a look at Mamelodi Sundowns then, they do play then with a 4-4-2 diamond. This is what they look like then out of possession. So in possession then, we do know that they do switch then to a 3-box-3, where then they are looking then to overload the central areas of the pitch, but still then maintain the width, where then they do create that qualitative superiority within those wide areas. A team then that does look to press very aggressively, dominate possession, and look then to generate and create a lot of chances consistently. When you have a look at Swallows then, they do play then with a 4-2-3-1. When you have a look at them then, they do look to play from deep, and when you have a look at it then, a key component of their game then and key players who have been very important with regards to how Swallows want to play is then the double pivot then of Andile Jali and Lancheni Palani. With regards to how then do they look to progress the ball for this Swallows side, they do look to build up from deep, penetrate the wide areas and look to get crosses into the box. When you have a look at the key player then for this Mamelodi Sundowns side then, it will be Twembazane with regards to his skill, his creativity, and how then he looks to break into the box and inspire this Mamelodi Sundowns side then to yet another MTN 8 title. So we do know that last season they did lose out to Orlando Pirates. The previous season they did win the MTN 8 title. With regards to a key player, when you have a look at this Swallows side, it is Andile Jali within the heart of midfield, how he looks to lead this Swallows side, especially considering that he does come up against his former side and he would know a lot about them. So when it does come to this fixture, I do think that Mamelodi Sundowns then will win this game against Swallows, and I do think that it will be a comfortable victory for Mamelodi Sundowns. Moving on then right along, the next fixture then is Orlando Pirates versus SEKHUKHUNE United. So when you have a look at Orlando Pirates then, they play then with a 4-2-3-1. So that is the shape that you would see from this Orlando Pirates side. So that is 4-2-3-1. That is Orlando Pirates with regards to then how then they look to play. And when you have a look at them, then they do look to build up from very deep, where then they are looking then to ensure that they can progress the ball. They do tend to institute a lot of wide overloads and a lot of combination play between the half space and the wide area. Then look to break into the box. A key player then for this Orlando Pirates side then, it is Monopule Saleng then, who does start as an inverted winger, so he does play off the right hand side. So he does start in that wide area. He does look to drift in into that half space. Very good then when it comes then to ensuring that he can create big chances consistently. A player then who also has an eye for goal, as we do know that he scored a lot of goals for Orlando Pirates last season, also created a lot of chances. Very key also when it comes to set pieces and offensive transitions as well. This is a player who's improving very well for this Orlando Pirates side, because like I did mention, when it comes to offensive transitions, he's very key with regards to his speed. When it comes to offensive set pieces, his delivery is very good with regards to how he's got that whipped delivery. When it comes to open play then, this is a player then who does also possess that speed in open play, and also then the ability to drift in between the lines is also improving with regards to being able to hurt opposition in open play. When you move on then and have a look at SEKHUKHUNE United. So with SEKHUKHUNE, they do play a 4-3-3 with 2 advanced 8s. So that is the shape that SEKHUKHUNE play with, where then they do look to get their wingers high and wide. And another key component of their style of play is that they do look to invert the fullbacks, then push the 8s as high as possible. So that is how SEKHUKHUNE would look to impose themselves, and they would look to play. A player then who started well for this SEKHUKHUNE side then is Jamie Webber within the heart of midfield. We did see he scored a free kick against Mamelodi Sundowns, and a player then who can go on to have very good performances for this SEKHUKHUNE United side. A key player then going into this game would be Jamie Webber, and then it would also be Mukwana as well, who does play off the right hand side. He's very quick, very skillful, and we do know that in the Nedbank final, he was a very tricky customer for that Orlando Pirates defense, especially on the left-hand side, where he did cause them problems. However, going into this one, then I do foresee it a very tight encounter and a very difficult one, and I do think Orlando Pirates will win this one by a narrow win. Moving on then right along, you've got Cape Town City versus Kaizer Chiefs. So Cape Town City then, how do they play like? So under Eric Tinkler, we have seen Cape Town City go to a back three. So they play then with a 3-2-4-1. So what you do see then from this Cape Town City side then is this shape with regards to how then they look to impose themselves. So this then also does enable them to overload the central area, where then they do have their box, where they'd have their double pivot, and then they'd have their 2 attacking midfielders or their 2 10s. Then you'd have the striker up front, who is Mayo. On the right hand side, offering the width, you'd have Jaden Rhodes. Then you'd have Gonzalez there. So this is how Cape Town City then look to impose themselves. Very comfortable in possession, look to progress the ball and work it into the wide areas, where they can look to play those crosses then, and even in those wide areas, especially on the left-hand side, with the skill and the speed of Gonzalez. He's very good then within those 1v1 situations, where he's able to come in and cut in onto his right foot. A key player for this Cape Town City side is then Mayo. Mayo has been doing very well for this Cape Town City side. We know how deadly and how lethal he is then in front of goal. Also then when it does come then to those set pieces with regards to direct free kicks, and also then looking to deliver a very good ball into the box for his teammates. When you have a look at Kaizer Chiefs then, represented by the red side, they do play then with a 4-2-3-1. So when you have a look at Kaizer Chiefs, that is what you can expect from this Kaizer Chiefs side with regards to how then they will be looking to play when it comes to this encounter. And when you have a look at Kaizer Chiefs then, they are a team then that is still pretty much finding their feet under Molefe Ntseki, as offensively they haven't been too convincing, and they're still improving in that regard. And a key player then coming up into this encounter, especially then within the heart of midfield, I do think it is Castillo. He's had a couple of good performances for this Kaizer Chiefs team so far. Also, when you have a look at Given Simango and you have a look at Diklokwe as well, those are key players coming up into this game against Cape Town City. I do think that this will be a very, very tight encounter. And when I do have a look at this encounter, I will say then I will have to give it to Cape Town City. I do think that they will win just by a narrow win. So I do foresee it being a 1-0. I do think it is a 1-0 game, a very tight encounter, but I do foresee Cape Town City winning. When you move on then right along and have a look at the last encounter, you've got Supersport United versus Stellenbosch. With Supersport United then under Gavin Hunt, they do play with the 4-4-2. So with regards to the 4-4-2, this is the shape that they would be looking to play like. So key then for Supersport with regards to how they play is the 2 within the heart of midfield. You've got Ndlovu and then you've got Magaman, who are very important for this Supersport United side within the heart of midfield with regards to how much ground they cover, how they look to progress the ball for this Supersport United side. They're very aggressive and very penetrative within the wide areas. That is where then that they create a lot of their chances. So currently then under Gavin Hunt, Supersport United then do average at least 18 crosses per game. So that does mean that they're quite aggressive within those wide areas and very good when it comes to delivering those crosses into the box, which is something that Stellenbosch then will have to become wary of, especially then when you have a look at a player like Chandre Campbell, who is a young player who within his debut match against Richards Bay, he did get an assist and a second assist and he won man of the match. Player then who's looking very promising. And when you have a look at it, key players then up front, you've got Chukamanja, you've got Igadaro as well. These are 2 players then that did score on debut for this Supersport United side. You've got Bradley Groble as well if Igadaro doesn't start. When you do have a look at this Supersport United side, they're looking very strong and they're looking very good thus far. When you have a look at Stellenbosch then, they do play then with a 4-3-3. However, this Stellenbosch side is a tactically flexible side, also very dynamic with regards to how they look to approach games and how they look to play. However, what they're very good at then is offensive transitions, being able to successfully hit teams on the counter attack, and they're a very, very aggressive pressing side, as they do tend to force opposition into errors. That is what they're very good at, especially when you consider their front three of Reynolds. You've got Titus, and then you've got Antonio van Wyk, who are very, very quick, very good at pressing, very good then at attacking the space in behind and ensuring that they can look to finish off with a goal. That is Stellenbosch, and that is Supersport United. This is then a very interesting encounter, especially considering then the opposite end spectrum style of play with regards to how both these teams look to play. With Stellenbosch then, they are a team that is comfortable in possession, but they are not a heavy volume passing side, so they're not a side that looks to hold on to possession for too long, but they do look to progress the ball as quick as possible into those advanced areas where then they can look then to hurt opposition. With Supersport United, very aggressive when it comes to the wide areas and delivering those crosses into the box. So that is Supersport United versus Stellenbosch then within the last fixture of the MTN 8 quarterfinals, and I do think that Supersport United then will walk away with a win in this one. So the teams that I do foresee progressing then to the semi-finals of the MTN 8, in the first fixture, it is Mamelodi Sundowns versus Swallows. I do think Mamelodi Sundowns walk away with a victory in that one. And then you've got Orlando Pirates versus SEKHUKHUNE United. I do foresee Orlando Pirates winning that one. And then you've got Cape Town City versus Kaizer Chiefs, where I do see Cape Town City walking away then with a very narrow victory in that one. And then the last one is Supersport United versus Stellenbosch, where I do foresee Supersport walking away with the win in that one. However, at home, do let me know if you do disagree with me. Do let me know who do you think then does progress into the semi-finals then of the MTN 8, and who do you think then will go on to win this MTN 8. We do know that the last time out, Orlando Pirates did win it, as that was the first trophy that Jose Riviero did deliver for the Buccaneers. However, thank you very much for tuning in to yet another special episode of Disky Talk with Luyolo. Signing out.